Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the freaking internet. 'Tis me, the Viking, the fat Viking knight of the internet. And today, we've been doing a little bit of stuff and things. We've been working hard. We've been putting in the effort. We've been grinding away. And we're going to hopefully go somewhere with that, so we'll find out. But we'll get this episode started real quick. We're trying to finish off the building that we did in the last episode. Maybe it was the last. Yeah, I think it was the last episode. We're going to try to finish off this building, though, see what we can or cannot do, and really hope for the freaking best of it. So, let's put that to the test and see what we can do. So we're returning here at light freaking speed to try and build what I hope is an easy extension of this building. We're trying for a lot of curvature, different height variation, and a lot of different block combinations. Although we have not done any of the texturing on these walls yet, we definitely will, and it will make for a nice and easy transition between the harsh browns of the wood to the soft greens that we have here. We need to add quite a few different blocks to make that transition what it actually needs to be, or else we risk it looking kind of hodgepodge and a bit of a mess, to be honest with you. And we don't freaking want that, so we're going to avoid that at all freaking costs. And we really need to get some structure in here that looks different and appealing than all the rest of the things that we have found thus far. The more shapes you make, the more shapes you do, the better off any of your builds really are. The flatter they are, the harder it is to make work. And you'll see once we're done with all of these buildings just how true that is, because we're starting with a hollow, soft shell. And then from that shell, we are trying to make it something that is actually worthwhile, and a shape that actually can pronounce and make what we're doing just a little bit nicer in terms of the aesthetics that we have going on here. Make sure to include your freaking bushes. If you don't include your bushes, you're doing something freaking wrong. Let me tell you, damn. In the last season that we had, we were not able to use nature of any kind, and it hurt my freaking soul so bad. We weren't able to make adjustments. We weren't able to cover up things with nature. We simply had to let the build define its totality. And that was a very, very difficult thing. Now that we have bushes, we're going bush crazy. Hi there, this is a future me's ADHD kicking right in, right on freaking schedule. We decided to change things up randomly and spontaneously to go and collect a bunch of stone. For what? For why? Well, it's simple. I felt like doing some terraforming inside that moment, and that's kind of how you do it. So, yeah, I know. ADHD brain is very, very weird because randomly I will switch things, topics, as well as tasks that I have going on at that current juncture. I literally will up and just jump to the next task as quickly as we freaking started, and that's just something that I do. Can't help it, can't stop it, and if you've watched my videos for any extended amount of time at this point, you know damn freaking well that I just get very, very distracted. And sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes it leads to projects not getting done in a good amount of time, as it takes us far longer than anyone else because we get so easily distracted going from build to build, task to task, resource to resource, and we don't really have any thought process in between. We just simply do it. That's how it goes. Nice little section of terraforming going on here. Yeah. What we're doing is enhancing the cliffside a little bit so that it doesn't feel so plain, as it were. So I added a little bit of a cave network on one side in which it is hollow. You can go through, and eventually, I believe that will be how we get into the mound beneath our village here. That will allow us to continue doing what we're doing, and we can also have a nice, cool, practical entrance into it. I think that will be very, very beneficial for us. So I left it open so that we could get into it, and then started detailing all of the things. Now, we still have to add many, many more blocks into this palette here before it is even close to being what I need it to be, but it's on its way. And all of these little details make such a gigantic difference. It's hard to tell a lot of the time, but truly, every little block that we add here for variation, for texture, for whatever we decide to do makes a gigantic difference. The more colors, the better, as long as you know how to do them in moderation. If you use too much of the same color, things kind of get washed out and it doesn't work as well. But if you sprinkle in colors here and there, it changes the depth and perception of it and makes it into something really, really nice. Now, I'm playing with this idea here that we're currently working on. And that is the mud and the muddy roots here. Maybe in the forest, like closer to all of the edges, we do this dark, muddy madness. And then closer to all the buildings, we do a little bit more of the wild and untamed grass. I'm not sure about it yet, so I left it just to see if maybe that is something I want to do, or if it's something that we're going to end up vetoing. I'm not really sure either way. But I think it looks okay. And this cliff face, although not my best work for sure, because it is kind of small. In hindsight, I should have made this ledge about 10 blocks taller, and then we would have been able to do a nice cliff face there. But have no fear, we will take that into our attention, and we will actually put that somewhere else. We're going to need to make at least like a 10 or 11 block cliff face, I think. And in doing so, we should be able to make some nice scenery out of that. And I'm looking forward to making that. No idea where it's going to be or how we're going to do it, but we do know that it is needed. This rolling hills, rolling forest biome that we're making here has a lot of little quirks, and we are just scratching the surface with all the block variation and things that we want to do. Trust me, there is going to be a stupid amount of different blocks for this build. Like an absolute stupid amount of different blocks. And I think that's fun. Fun, but also gives me a lot of work because I never really know what blocks I want to use and when or why. And that is going to take some getting used to for sure. So I think we're going to keep it that way in terms of the mud all around the forest. We'll have big patches of mud kind of surrounding all of the rock faces, all the cliff faces, and then it will go into unkempt forest that is very close to that of the buildings. And that should make it feel like nature and civilization are coming together in harmony. Because you're not really going to manicure your lawn while you're living in the middle of a forest, I don't think. The only one that may have a very tidy lawn would be the church. And I think that is exactly what we're going to do and make it just super easy for us to not have to worry about that. And then that one will be tidy, neat, clean, and all the rest are going to be clean near the pathway, clean near the door. But as you go to the back of the house, the side of the house, or any part of the house that's not the front entrance, we're going to make it nice and messy. And I think that will be a really, really nice transition that I hope to achieve. But we'll see. I haven't done a whole lot of landscaping in like a year and a half right now. So it's starting to come back to me, but it is definitely a lot of freaking work. More than I ever remember. And as we have all of these horses here now, I do kind of feel that we should really add in a stable or two, because I think it will look really nice if we're able to do such a thing. But we're going to keep on trucking here, and we'll check back in with an update. I don't know about everyone else, but I am really starting to enjoy this world. Granted, it is not our old world, and I will be bringing back some of those buildings because I really just enjoyed the shape, the colors, and the aesthetic of them. I thought they were really cool looking. So we'll definitely bring some of those back in a little offshoot here. Not quite the same large scale, but I definitely want to bring some of those back because they just look super, super cool. And we're going to definitely make some custom cherry blossoms for those just because I didn't get to in the other world, and I couldn't due to our rules. So as you see, me getting surely distracted again as we do, which is, you know, not a surprise to literally any or all of you because I get distracted so freaking frequently that you shouldn't be surprised. I just bounce from one thing to the next, and sometimes it works out in our favor. We are rapidly approaching the 400-day mark of this world already, which is pretty crazy because I feel I've only had it for a month, maybe 2 months at this point in time, and we are half of the amount of time that we are into our other world, and I feel like I have not accomplished that much because we've been sleeping so freaking often here. And that is definitely my fault, but we can fix that. Just do what we do and make things work. I am really liking this biome that we're trying, though. I've never done really anything like it with this many different color variations, so it's going to be tough to see how we can do this, how we can progress, and how we can do something that no one has ever seen before. I think that'll be a really, really cool aesthetic for me, too. Very, very happy. But, yeah, we're just making things work right now. We're having fun with it. We're putting in all of the work. And I am going to leave in a lot of the inventory issues this time. You guys never actually told me if you mind them, if you don't mind them, or whatever the case may be. So I'm still going to cut out some for my benefit, but there will still be some strewn about here if I don't catch them because, frankly, it is a lot of freaking work to make all of those disappear. It really is. I tend to look so much in my inventory in this game, and the more you think about it, the more you start to look in your inventory as well. And it's a lot. It really is. But that is actually okay. So we need to figure out lighting in these areas as well because we're not allowed to have torches in the finished product. You guys know that, I know that. We're not allowed any of these torches. I think lanterns would not really make sense, so I think we're going to have to do a lot of recessed and hidden lighting because you shouldn't really see the lighting unless they're hanging lanterns from the trees, but they would only hang lanterns from the trees right next to the path and not in the middle of the forest. So we'll have to see how that plays out, see if it works in our favor. And I'm thinking to try to keep the mood aesthetically pleasing, we probably use the duller soul lanterns instead of the brighter regular lanterns, even though I think the blue is going to really stand out in this forest. But that may be a good thing. I guess we'll find out, though. It always cracks me up randomly when you hear a zombie beneath me, too, especially in sped up footage. At 5 times speed, the zombies are like, and it's just freaking hilarious to me. I don't know why, but I indulge in it, and I really, really like it. Just makes me smile every single time that it happens. So I just kind of leave it in there to see if you guys even notice. And I'm sure people are not watching that closely because, you know, most people just listen and occasionally will look at the screen, but most people are not watching every single second of this as well. That's why I am perfectly fine with keeping a lot of it in 5 times speed, because it does show a lot of information, as well as shows us doing a lot of work in a nice, clean time frame, and then you don't have to really worry about it. As I said before, I'll say it again, I am not able to put in 40 hours of recording for a single video. I'm able to put in about 3 for a video to stay on track, so that is exactly what we're doing right this second. And we'll just make it work. That's how it goes. So we'll be back in just a hot second here to do whatever random shenanigans we plan on doing. Be right back. And we're back. Hello. We are finally tacking this little pond, this little pool that I have had here for quite some freaking time. And I think it's going to need more details still, as the bottom appears very plain and the sides also appear very plain. We're going to need to add some variation and some texturing in that, because without it, it's just a weird pond, and we don't love that here. We do not. So I feel compelled to add a little bit of maybe some cattails that we'll make with the brown and green glass. Maybe put in some sugarcane in there. I don't know. Sprinkle on some sea pickles. Do something to make a little bit of interest here. And it's going to need to be done. It seems too circular, too exact, and I don't actually love that. So we'll have to figure that out so that we can do something a little bit more spontaneous and a little bit better on the eyes here. Either that or we'll figure out what we're doing, honestly. That's all there is to it. Literally 0 plans going into any of the work that we do here, and I can't help myself. I really, really can't. But it is something. Now, tomorrow is going to be a bit of a weird thing, because it's going to be the first day that we do not have a Minecraft episode. That is because tomorrow we are going to have Ori and the Blind Forest, an episode, and I think it will be, it's an older live stream that we did, but I just do not have the time to edit together another episode for tomorrow, so that's why today you got a little bit of an extra long one. It was roughly about 3.5 hours of footage condensed down into roughly about 30-ish minutes. Which may not seem like a lot, but let me tell you, for working 40 hours and having the dogs and trying to meal prep and like all the different things that we do, it is plenty of time and is really just my recharge. It's what I do when I get home. It's what I do in process of taking care of the dogs. It's just what I like to do to unwind. It's a nice, easy time, and all is well. I've never not had fun whilst playing the Minecraft, so we just keep doing it, keep sending it as high as we can, and you just guys will have to accept sometimes, even though I know that you guys do not watch every single episode, sometimes there will not be an episode daily. But I will still try to put out some kind of content on those days so that we actually can keep going. Though I do believe we are kind of straying into a bit of a variety channel, which definitely means that we are not going to get the community that we desire. But it's what I want to do, and it is what my ADHD kind of compels me to do. You know, I hope you do, because I'm speaking directly from the freaking heart on that one. Any of you fellow ADHD goers know exactly what I mean when I just jump from task to task and cannot stay focused on anything to save my freaking life. Oh, it's so difficult. It really, truly is, and it is usually why we have 30 projects going on in a single world at any given time. And we're talking massive projects and not the little projects such as this one right now. Although, I don't know how much longer we're able to continue saying that this is a small project, because it's not. It very much is growing very large, and I love it. But with that being said, that is going to do it for today. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, hope you have a great day. Ciao.